What's up, everyone? Ryan from Oakland Ghost, and today I have to share what I think is quite possibly the best community dev added feature to the Deluge yet. Quite possibly the most requested feature, since even before Synthstrom decided to go open source with their firmware. Hands down, it's the most useful to me personally, and I think a lot of people will agree. I actually made pretty much this exact same video last week just before Christmas, and then the community devs gifted us with the greatest gift on Christmas ever in the new community beta 1.2 Chopin official release. And some of the processes for doing this changed, so that information became obsolete. And Ron beat me to the punch, but visibility is visibility. I think as many people as we can get to try the new community firmware and know that they can do this now on the Deluge, the better. So I'm going to share it too because I'm ecstatic about it. I love it. It's amazing. And that, my friends, is stem export. You heard me correctly. Stem export is finally available on the Synthstrom Deluge. Now, there's a couple different ways you can do it. And I gotta say, the community devs totally hit this out of the park. It's even better than I could have hoped for. Now, what I expected that we'd get, and we did get, is say you're in song mode, whether that's, I'm in rows, but say that you're in grid mode, whatever your preferred song view mode is. If you hit save and record, it'll export all those stems out. And it'll do it just at the length of each of your individual clips. And that's kind of what I expected. I expected a really straightforward, it's going to chop your loops. And that's great if you're the type of producer that just wants your stems and you want to dump them into your DAW of choice and arrange there. But I'm the type of producer who enjoys completely arranging on the Deluge. And what I didn't expect to get, and what we did get, is being able to do it from the arranger view, which is, oh my God, so incredible. I can't say enough about it. I love it. I'm going to demo it right now for you. Enough talking. One thing you can check is if you hit this to get your settings and you go down to export audio, there's a couple different ways you could do it. You could either start the export right from here, but one thing that I love to do is make sure that I check on normalization. And what normalization does is it's going to take whatever the loudest peak of that is and kind of get everything. It's basically just it's going to make everything the same volume. One of the things I would always struggle with when I was exporting myself manually, recording each track into my preamp, into my DAW, is adjusting levels. And sometimes, when I got white tracks or I have different versions, they might be different levels. It was just, I'd have to go into each individual one and make sure I turned each one up. It was just a pain in the butt. Clicking on normalization makes it so that I don't have to do any of that. It's going to give me the best possible source. Now, if you're happy with your mix in the Deluge and all you're doing is exporting these so that you can maybe throw some mastering on and maybe some light adjustments to your mix, then you don't need to click this on. That's fine, because if you click normalization, you're going to be remixing it in your DAW. But that's where I like to do my final mix and master. So even though I've already mixed things on the Deluge, I kind of throw that out when I go over to the DAW and work. So yeah, I love normalization on. Did not expect that feature. The other one that you probably want to click on is song effects. And what that's going to do is if you have global effects that have, I don't do this very often, but if you have global effects that affect the entire song, like reverb or delay or something like that, it's going to make sure it prints those to the tracks as well. It's just probably a good idea just to click it on in case you did do that. I don't usually, but you know what? I'm still going to click it on. All right, so those are your settings. And yeah, once it's all done, all you got to do is you hold save and you hit record, and it's starting to export. And now one thing that's really cool that kind of changed from the beta is now you can kind of see progress, or at least the beta I was on. Perhaps one of the later betas was doing this as well. But, before it would just kind of show your little screen up here on the OLED, but now it's kind of showing you a visual representation of what's happening on each track. And it's going to go through each track. It's going to tell you when it's done it. It does take a little time, but it takes a lot less time than me sending each individual track and adjusting volumes and all that on my DAW. So, and then having to line each one of those up in my DAW as well. So, thank you, community devs. This is an amazing, amazing feature. Once this is finished working and everything has been printed to your SD card, what you're going to want to do is, at least for me, I pop the SD card out, I go over to my DAW. It's going to be saved in a folder. If you go into samples and then exports, it'll have the song name. And under the song name, you'll have two more, you'll have another folder depending on how you did this. If you did tracks like I did, each individual tracks, there'll be a folder for tracks and all your stems are going to be in there. If you did clips from song view or grid view, there'll be a separate folder that says clips and all your little stems will be in there. And then all you got to do is drag them into your DAW and you're good to go. The really cool thing, especially if you're someone like me who does everything from a Ranger view like this, is all the tracks are going to be start and end at the same time. So all you have to do to line them up is drag them in and make sure they're all in the same place. Super simple. Before, I would have to do a lot of tricks, like always record a snare at the front of each track as I recorded it in and then line up the snares. And man, it was just such a pain in the butt. But now it just keeps your song intact. All you got to do is drop it over there. Seriously, the most useful and amazing feature yet added by the fantastic community devs. High five to those guys. They are kicking all kinds of ass and making this instrument not only best in class, but continually even better in class with each new release. And I appreciate them so much. I encourage you guys to all try the newest community firmware, the 1.2 official release of Chopin. It's awesome. There's a lot of other quality of life things, and they also added the DX7 synth engine. I made a video about that if you want to learn how to get that up and running. That's still applicable. If you found this helpful, please consider subscribing. It's a great way of supporting our channel. It's a big help to us, and we appreciate you guys to no end. Until the next time, I'll catch you guys later. Ryan out.